With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Breathe. Come on, you got silence. A fool chatters, whilst the wise man listens. Breathe.
All right, now wait a minute. Is this gonna be the kind of training where we sit around for 10 years and you tell me I'm big enough to break a brick with my big toe?
You have come into the care of Chun.
Welcome to Back to the Frame Rate, part of the Western Media Podcast Network, a weekly podcast discussing movie news, reviews, and recommendations. Our cold open this week was a clip from Remo Williams. The Adventure Begins from 1986, the tie-in to this week's topic. On the show this week, we'll be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We'll also be sharing what we've been watching this week and recommending other Globetrotting Adventure films. I'm Nathan Shore, and with me is Sam Cole and Eli Escobar.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How is everybody this week?
Still alive.
Well, that's positive.
Yeah.
Just chilling, trying to stay cool. I'm not a summer is not my favorite thing. So,
Well, why not? We got the sun and the heat. And is it
Seriously?
the you don't like the heat?
I know I prefer 10-degree weather over 8.
10-degree weather? What, Celsius? Or what are you talking about? What do you mean 10-degree
Fahrenheit.
weather?
It's 10 Fahrenheit. Like,
Oh, that's right. Ellie likes really cold weather. I remember this.
do.
I remember this Facebook post over the years. Yeah.
yeah, I don't like summers. Too many bugs and spiders, and it's not good for your skin.
Spiders?
But the cold is really good for your skin. You can breathe. Yeah, man. Forget the summer.
I like going to the beach. I mean, I love the summer, but Providence, Rhode Island in the summer is very when I like being near the water because it's like 10 degrees cooler and you can go swimming. In the city, it's hot, humid.
I love the ocean, though. I don't like sharks either. I don't.
I like sharks because as long as they eat a couple of annoying people once in a while, just thin out the population. I'm
Just
fine
the
with that.
annoying people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I just
Speaking
feel
of
bad.
Not
about
everyone.
that.
You just
I
keep
feel-
good screenwriters alive, but if there's some like banker that gets eaten, there's plenty of more of those. Yeah.
Speaking of sharks, aren't we due for a Shark Week?
Yes, I hope so. July. It is July. There's
It's
gotta be
usually this
one. I'm
time of year,
excited.
right?
I love sharks.
Actually, I got to check right now. I know this is a live on the air. Shark Week is. I had to check.
I think I love Jaws, and Jaws 2 is decent. I don't know if you,
July 23rd is Shark Week on Discovery. So, Jason Momoa is doing this on the front page of Shark Week.
Oh,
so
nice.
he's the face of Shark Week.
have you ever seen Jaws 3?
Many times. I saw it in the theater.
Quick
In 3D.
That movie, I think, should be studied in film schools. This is what happens when a movie doesn't work that well. And no offense to Joe Alves, the director. I think he was like a production designer on Jaws, great guy, but man, that movie.
Well, back then, every
Yeah.
movie that was in around 1982 to 1984, if it was the third movie coming out, it had to be in 3D because they had the 3. So they had to do it in 3D.
The shark's death in that is the fakest. It's like superimposed, and it's just like, then it blows up, and like CGI, like bad 1983, like guts come out at you. It looks, There's some good moments, but I actually think Jaws 2 is a worthy sequel. Like the first movie is a classic. Love Jaws 2.
I saw Jaws 2 before I saw Jaws, which is weird. I think
Jaws 2 has all the characters that you like are back, and the kids, and they have good sailboat action and choreography. It's pretty good.
It had a pretty intense third act in that. I remember.
Yeah, it did.
So,
it was a good, intense showdown, but it was like, it's worthy. It's like, obviously Jaws is like the champion, but Jaws 2 is like it's a good sequel. I like it.
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. Yeah. And, going back to Jaws 3, hey, Dennis Quaid, that might have been the first thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
And he's trying. He's working hard.
He's great.
In that.
The thing about that movie, though, is because I haven't seen it recently, but I remember it not having good pacing. So there's a scene where he's like in his apartment with his girlfriend, and he's getting ready to
Bess Armstrong, who I adored her for a while back in the 80s. So.
Yeah, and like they're talking and they're like getting ready to go to work, but it's just like continuous footage, and you're like, what like. Cut or close up or like there's no like what is this movie what's going on here? I don't know. It just that movie is just like dirt. Yeah.
But I think anyways, let's move on. We don't have to talk about Jaws 3 anymore, but never thought Jaws 3 would get this much airtime on our podcast. But I'm
Bouchard here.
Sorry everyone. Why don't we talk a little bit about get to our weekly water cooler where we discuss what we've been doing this past week. Who would like to get into that first?
Ellie.
If anything.
Well, I just said I was just chilling and working. And
so we covered you. You're
studying.
done. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, that's fine. Sam, anything exciting with you?
No, I did not particularly like this week, but let's see. What did I do that was memorable? I did see Up in the Air again with George Clooney, and that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And I thought I think I might have seen something else, but I can't remember.
Wait, you want to see our weekly watches? Oh, okay. I have something to tell you.
My phone wasn't working this week, so that's going to get fixed.
Before we get to that, anything that you did outside of the TV watching world?
Nothing worthy of reporting except grievances. But the people that I have grievances with, they'll hear from me soon enough. I'll get them. Yeah.
Only other thing that I will say, nothing super exciting, but I am in pre-production on a short film. I did tease this, I think, on the last episode, but going into production in end of August. I'm really excited about it. It keeps kind of changing the scope of what the project is. I can't really talk about it or reveal much about it on the show because I just can't right now. So maybe next time we come back, I'll have more I can say about it. There'll be a lot more to share, which I'll be excited about. But that's happening. And what I can say is that it is going to be shot in New Hampshire or Vermont. There's location scouting going on right now. And what this does tie into is that I am going on a camping trip next week to that area. And there is going to be location scouting. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm spending 4 nights up there. And I am really excited for that. Doing some solo camping, which I did a year ago. And I just love heading up to that part of the New England. And I'm just really excited. So I will probably shoot a little video about my adventures up there. So yeah, I'm excited. And that also kind of ties into how I'm getting up to New Hampshire and Vermont. I bought a new car, folks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
congratulations.
Yeah, I've been driving for 9 years now, a Subaru Outback. Not the same Subaru Outback, but I've owned Subaru Outbacks forever. And I'm not just here to be a commercial for Subaru Outbacks, but they've been good to me. But
I drove my Subaru Outback to the Arctic Ocean and back from LA. It performed admirably. Not only do I love Subaru, but I've been driving Subaru for 10 years ago, and I endorse Subaru
okay.
Outback. They're amazing.
I do
amazing
too.
cars. Yeah.
I do too. And I feel a little sad that I am now turning in my Outback. I've been loyal to my Outback, and it's been good to me. But, I'm starting to get a little bored with Outbacks. So guess what I am doing? I'm turning my Outback for a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, a Jeep. Nice. That's cool.
I'm moving on to a red Jeep Wrangler. I am letting down my hair. It's got a retractable roof, and I am driving up to the mountains in my new Jeep Wrangler next week. I cannot wait. I can take the doors off. I can put the roof back, and I am just going to be driving around the mountains with my new Jeep Wrangler next week. So I am really excited for that.
Pre-production is also, I love pre-production in general. That's such a fun, hopeful time in a project where it's like the world is open. You haven't shot anything yet. It's all about imagination.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. So,
I'm stoked. I'm really excited. And I am extremely hopeful and optimistic and excited for a lot of things going on this summer. Soon after that, I am taking a family trip up to Prince Edward Island in right next to Nova Scotia, where we have a family vacation planned at the end of July, right around my birthday. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're probably going to take the Jeep up for that. So I'm really excited and looking forward to some of the adventures happening this summer. So, and the people that I'll be working with on these projects too. So anyways, that is what's going on with me this past week. It's been very eventful and really excited for the rest of the summer. All right, let's get to our weekly watches. And Sam, I think you said you had had a chance to watch Up in the Air again. Anything else you want to mention?
Yes, let's see. No. That was Up in the Air was good. Yep.
That's a good movie. Really good movie.
It was. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that I was watching it and not interacting with people and just enjoying the movie. That was good.
All right.
I'm still playing Zelda, by the way. And so anytime anyone talks to me and they start annoying me, I just play the game and say, I'll be with you in a second. Shut up. Shut up.
All right.
Yeah.
Sam, you got some pent up angst in you.
I know.
Hell yeah.
Do you want me to give you my boxing gloves? Just maybe
Ellie.
you should write. Maybe you should write.
No boxing gloves for me, but just not a great week. But the next couple of weeks will be better once I get more of my freedom back.
Maybe write a serial killer movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or what I'd like to do is like build up a character that everyone loves and cares about, and in the third act, just kill them off.
Do it.
And then the movie will lose money. I'll be like, yeah, but it was funny though.
Awesome.
How about you, Ellie? Anything you would like to share about what you have been watching?
Well, I just watched this limited series, like 24 episodes this weekend, called The Surrogate.
Wait, you just watched 24 episodes this weekend?
I know.
That's amazing. Wow.
I need your life.
I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning. Like the master night. So I was just, you need my life. I freaking love watching movies. I just do love. But this series is in Spanish. It's Mexican. And it's really well done. And if you want to watch, you can always put the subtitles. It made me cry. It made me angry. It was well done. I just 24 episodes. Watched them all. Then I watched all the Evil Dead movies.
Oh wow!
Oh wait.
All of them?
No. I missed the latest one.
So you watched the first two, the first three Sam Raimi movies.
Yeah.
Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness.
Yes, the Army of Darkness. Is that part of the Evil Dead?
Yes.
Trilogy?
Yes. So you didn't watch that?
No, I did because it was the Yeah, I did because I needed to so I can watch the latest one. I never pay attention to the titles. All I know is I watch movies. I don't even pay attention who the actors are.
I've seen
freaking watch the movies. Unless the actor is well known, I don't know who the heck I'm watching. I'm just.
I did see Run.
How did you know what to watch when you were like doing research, like what to watch, like if you don't know the titles?
I have a little friend at home.
Oh, that's your son. He tells you, like, good. Mom, watch this, watch this, watch this.
Well,
right?
I go, Carlos, what's good to watch? Because I need it for my podcast. He's been in the show.
So pause for a second. Have you watched these before?
The Evil Dead?
Yes.
So I only watched the 80s Evil Dead. The very cheesy 1980s Evil Dead, which was really cheesy. And now that I watched it again, so Carlos and I watch a lot of movies together, and that's how I know what's up. And when we sat through this movie, and I'm like, did I really watch this? This is so cheesy. And then the second one that we watched was still cheesy, but then the third one was not so bad. And I don't know what he already watched the last one. I haven't. And he says it wasn't too bad, but.
I did see Ron Howard's The Missing twice this week.
The Missing?
Yeah. Because I really
twice?
And someone listening or watching this will say, Sam, you watched that last week and I have a problem with that. And to them I say, I like to watch movies twice. Shut up. Shut up.
I can't. Okay. So then I also watched Benny's Back, and I watched that because I was looking for a scene for my acting class. I was gonna do that scene because Carlos and I are going to this acting class together next Saturday. So we're preparing our characters to play together, to perform together in front of the class. Because this is not online. This is actually live. Like in person. And I was going to watch Ben is Back. Have you guys seen that film?
I haven't. No.
It's a 2018 film with Julia Roberts. It's on Prime. It's a really interesting film. It's about her son being a drug addict and the love that she has for her son to bring him out of that darkness. And
does he die or does he?
No, but it's the adventure, it's the thrill that you go through the whole movie that he's trying to get out of that situation, and the drug dealers are after him.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna die, but he doesn't.
That's
then
good.
I watched Catching Killers.
When he comes out of it, does he contribute to the economy? Because as a person with a drug habit, he's kind of just sucking things from other people.
Well,
so
Sam,
hopefully he'll
know.
generate some capital, because if he's not generating capital,
Sam,
why should we let him live?
Sam, the
movie ended. Okay, so
we don't know.
The drug addict got better, but maybe he'll relapse and die in the sequel.
Ben just goes back home, dude. Yeah. He just goes back home.
He goes back home?
Yeah, that's why
I assume it's a crappy house because he's into drugs, so he's poor, I'm guessing.
Oh, it's really nice.
Oh, wow. Oh, but he didn't make that money, though. Home. Yeah, someone else made the money, though. Who got the nice home? Who made the money?
The dad. Stepdad. The stepdad.
And was his character a jerk or something like that?
The stepdad?
Yeah.
Not at all. He's really
he's nice. Oh, wow.
No, it's the actual dad that's a jerk.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. So sometimes stepdads can be really nice.
Well, if that character existed in real life because of his drug problem, I would not allow him to be a PA on my set, but he could get me a glass of water for free if he wanted to. Then I'd say, get out of here. Go do your drugs. Go do your drugs in the darkness.
You have such an imagination, Sam.
I do, yeah.
Catching Killers is a Netflix documentary. I love it. I love anything killer related, serial
just
killer.
Need to have go ahead.
It's fun. It's good. You see all these cops and what they have to go through to catch the killer, and they do catch the killer. But these cops are now really old, and so they just really tell the story of what they went through when they were younger trying to catch these killers. And there was one that was like a copycat of the Zodiac killer in New York.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, and he tried to copycat, and they caught him, and he was like a young guy too. Let me see what else. Cocaine Bear. We just watched Cocaine Bear last night.
I still haven't seen that yet.
I couldn't stop laughing. I didn't know it was a true story. Is it really?
I think the only part that is true is that a big package of cocaine fell out of a plane and a bear ate it and died.
Oh, that's so sad.
That
like
part is true.
Okay.
That's like a 10-minute film. Did it the end.
That's the part that is true. The bear actually digesting it and going on a kill crazy rampage, that part never really happened.
Oh, okay. I thought it was funny from like the park ranger to like everyone involved.
It's a really great cast of zany characters,
but I didn't know it was that gruesome. I was like,
watch the Red Band trailer for this movie.
No, I didn't.
It does look like fun. I missed it.
Like
in the theater,
I
but I do
say,
want to see it. Yeah.
I sometimes don't watch anything. Don't know who's in the movie. I just watch.
Okay.
And until I'm watching, I'm like, oh wait, that's so and so. Oh my goodness. Anyway, The Lincoln Lawyer. I started watching season 1 and episode 1. I like it so far.
Yeah, stick with it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to mention something about that as well.
I haven't really. It caught me. I love it when I start watching something and it grabs my attention because then I stick with it. But if the first episode it doesn't grab me, I don't stay with it.
Interesting. I like the Arkansas Lawyer a lot better. That's a good show. Have you seen that? There's a lot more. There's a lot more guns in it. No, I'm just kidding. The show doesn't exist. Yeah,
it was serious.
You're too funny. And that's my watches for the week.
All right,
and weekend.
What's going to happen is I'll probably remember a watch that I had much later on, but I'm just drawing a blank at the moment. But that was
Sam. You talked about Jaws. I think you've been watching Jaws.
I did. I was talking about Jaws, yeah, because of Shark Week. But I did see Jaws 2 very recently. And I saw the whole movie on TV.
Do people eat shark meat?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I don't think. I think you're not supposed to hunt sharks.
That's so sad.
Not in this country.
But I think in other countries they do eat sharks.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to piggyback off of what you're saying about for my weekly watching about the Lincoln Lawyer. I think the second season just came out. I think not that long ago. So they're releasing it in stages. The first 5 episodes came out for the second season, and then I think the beginning of August is so 5 episodes came out, and then the beginning of August, the next 5 episodes come out. So they're kind of splitting the season a little bit. I love season 1. I think last summer it came out in 2022. I felt like it was like one of the events of the summer. It was great summer, like tentpole, felt like great show to watch last year. I really got into it. A lot of my friends and other family members just felt like that's what we were all talking about, the Lincoln Lawyer last year.
Interesting.
So it was a great show. Really liked it. Yeah. And if listeners out there haven't seen it, it really expands on the 2011 Matthew McConaughey movie, which is also what people might think of when they think of the Lincoln Lawyer. Some people seem to think this is a John Grisham like book, and it's not. For some reason,
I think it's because it just sounds like it would be like the Lincoln Lawyer or the Briefing or like the legal battle in some southern state, So
I think this is just a fantastic show. It's a return to form for David E. Kelly. He's the guy behind like L.A. Law, The Practice, Ally McBeal, Boston Public, Boston Legal, all those Boston dramas.
The guy that speaks Spanish, you mean?
Well, he's the producer of it, the showrunner, David E. Kelly. He's like the big showrunner for all these shows from like going back to the 80s, like L.A. Law was the big. He does all the legal dramas and stuff. He's a famous showrunner. So
what we should do is we should have a fourth guest on one day and make up this whole elaborate thing that we want them to be the showrunner for this idea and like bring up their enthusiasm. And then when they leave the episode, never call them again, but hire someone to follow them with a camera to see like if they're upset or feeling down. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be upset and feeling down.
Yeah. That's why I want a close-up shot on them when they're like, "Why did they do that to me?" Close-up, get in their face.
And you're like, da.
Just to see someone in a weakened, saddened moment it's always a blast.
Was there anything else I was gonna say about Lincoln Lawyer? Anyways, well, it's I think it's really good.
Yeah.
The show kind of goes basically it's about a particular case that main character is is working on. I think season 2 is going to be the same type of formula. If you're into legal dramas, I think this is as good as it gets. Manuel Garcia Fulfo. I don't know how you say his name. I'm botching that, I'm sure. Fulfo.
Did you ever see the movie with Simon Pegg, How to Lose Friends and Alienate People?
What?
No, I don't think I have.
It was a comedy. I did see the second half of this week. I remember that. It was actually really good. I want to watch the whole movie, but it's funny. It's like it sounds like a dark title, but it's like an amusing, lighthearted comedy.
Mm-hmm. Like
okay. Nev Campbell's in this too. She's really good in this, and trying to think if there's anything else. But anyways, I highly endorse Lincoln Lawyer. Season 2 just started.
So I picked a good one. I picked a good one.
I think you'll like it. And the other thing I started watching this week, I think there are 3 episodes in A Secret Invasion. This is the newest Marvel series. I'm not that impressed so far. It's kind of slow moving, and although
is that a series?
Yeah, it's a 6-episode series. Samuel L. Jackson is in it. Ben Mendelsohn. I think they're both great co-leads in this. I do love watching them play off each other, but it's also the timing of this does make sense because I think it's leading into the November release of The Marvels, which I'm assuming the series will have some ramifications on. Mm-hmm. But I also feel this entire sub-faction of the Marvel universe is feeling kind of stale. I know Captain Marvel came out 4 years ago. But for some reason, it feels like it was much longer. I suppose with COVID, everything that happened before it feels like it was twice as long. But I think the characters of Nick Fury and Talos are practically left my consciousness since then. There's been these 2 characters I don't think showed up at all during Phase 4. I don't know.
Are we in Phase 5? Is this Phase 5 now?
We're in Phase 5 now. I don't think Nick Fury showed up at all in Phase 4. Did he? Am I wrong?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I don't remember any of. I don't think he showed up at all since Captain Marvel. Or, anyways, my point is though, this I'm just like, it's not. I'm not sold yet on the show. I'm 3 episodes in, and just kind of like, eh. So I don't know. I will continue with the series because I have watched every single Marvel show that's come out since WandaVision. And it's been, some are good, some are not, but so far I'm just kind of like trudging along through this. So we'll see what happens.
Is it like visually interesting, like visually effects wise?
I'll be honest. I don't like to throw the word boring ever with a thing because I feel like that's kind of like a cop out of a way of describing something. But I am just kind of like falling asleep watching the show because I'm just I'm starting to get
boring.
Yeah, I feel like I should be able to find a better way of describing this, but I'm waiting for something exciting. And you know what? Maybe it's because since then we're in this weird like multiverse world now, and the story is feeling kind of small also, and I don't know why. It's just we're now back to the small little thing, even though it's kind of like the secret invasion, meaning like we're being invaded by these aliens and inhumanoids. But I'm just kind of like, what do I care? Feels like in the scheme of things, does anything matter?
I have been feeling a little bit exhausted by Marvel recently. I mean, I've been sort of underwhelmed, not with the shows, with the movies and stuff. I just feel tired. I like Marvel, and I obviously am on board for what comes next, but it's a lull time period for me.
I'm not that excited about the Marvels coming up.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
The trailer looked decent, though. I thought. I mean, I liked
and the other
trailer,
reason why I wasn't, because I was really nonplussed by Miss Marvel. A lot of people like that show. I was like, kind of like, it was okay.
Yeah.
So
I got to go back and give Loki a chance. I couldn't even.
I liked Loki a lot. That's coming out soon? I think the end of the summer.
Season 2, yeah.
I liked Loki a lot. But anyways, we don't have to get too much into it. But I'm just letting you know I started Secret Invasion, 3 episodes into that. And those are the 2 shows that I am in the middle of watching right now. So that is what I have been watching.
I'm going to watch Snowfall and Outlander next, right?
Yeah.
Those are my 2 next series.
What can we get for 'em?
4.
For the leads?
What can we get for the leads? I don't know. $10 a throw, 15 maybe? I don't know. For the leads, you're saying? Say somebody took them, went to Jerry Graff.
Yeah. How many leads we have?
The Glengarry, the premium leads? I've got to think they've got 500, say 500 leads.
You saying a fella you're saying could take those leads and sell them to Graff?
The leads to Graff, yes. I was saying, yeah, a guy could take, like anything else, it seems to me, that is negotiable, a guy could sell them.
How do you know he buy them?
Because I worked for him.
You didn't talk to him?
No. What do you mean? Did I talk to him about this?
Yeah. Are you just talking about this, or were you just talking about it?
Yeah, we're just speaking about it.
Speaking about it as an idea.
Yes.
We're not actually talking about it.
No.
Talking about it as a...
No.
As a robbery.
As a robbery? No.
Wow.
Hey.
So all this, you didn't actually call Graff. You didn't talk to him.
Not actually, no.
You didn't?
No, not actually.
Did you?
What did I say?
What did you say?
I said not actually.
Before we get to our main review, I do want to acknowledge the passing of Alan Arkin, who we lost last week. And very sad. He was 89 years old. And we just heard a clip from a scene with him and Ed Harris from Glengarry Glen Ross. Scene that I love. I think Glengarry Glen Ross was quite possibly maybe I know I've seen him in movies before that, but it was probably the first time I really he stood out to me as a real force in the acting world, where he had a major part in a movie. And I noticed him. I don't know if you guys want to share any thoughts or scenes or films that stood out to you.
I know it's not one of his like most iconic performances. I mean, I love him in a lot of movies, but I was a big fan of his performance in Edward Scissorhands as kind of like a suburban dad. And he's just so kind of laid back. He's like, oh, Edward, we gotta I love his Alan Arkin does. And he's done this many times as a character that's kind of moderately incredulous at what's going on, but he does it so well. And he deserves much better than what I'm about to mention, but he is hysterical in the Santa Claus Part 3 because he's one of the in-laws and he gets transported to the North Pole and he can't believe he's there. So the whole movie, he's like, whoa, reindeer. Whoa, is that Santa? And that's just like his bit. And he is an amazing actor. Yeah. And I loved him in Argo and there's so many other things, but it is sad. We lost a great talent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I actually saw Santa Claus 3.
It's pretty good.
I'll take your word for that.
It's oddly a much smaller budget than the Santa Claus 2, because the Santa Claus 2 opens with this big like air traffic control sequence. Santa Claus 3 is more grounded to the North Pole, but I enjoy it. I really do. Yeah. I can't deny it. I watch those movies and I know that I shouldn't I know I'm like, oh, I should be critical, but I love them. Yeah.
Yeah. And, he really didn't get a lot of notoriety until much later in his career, too. So anybody who's out there, that is maybe in their 40s or 50s thinking that their career has not gotten the jumpstart they wanted to, he didn't really get going until I believe his late 40s or early 50s. So it took him quite a while.
He's amazing. And like you were saying earlier, in Glengarry, Glen Ross, he's just incredible. You know, I like him in every. I've never seen an Alan Arkin performance, even in lesser films, where I go, that was terrible, because he's always amazing.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a master class or something for
Oh,
actors?
he might have, yeah.
Or is that the writer? Is there a writer with the last name the same?
It's possible. I'm not sure, but he
Like a
may.
writer, director,
He could have done a master class. I enjoy watching those things.
Yeah, me too.
I would love to see Alan Alda do a master class. He's like, guys, you know, what do you got to do about storytelling?
Wasn't he in that television series recently with the guy from The Romance in the Stones? Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know the actors' names. I just watch
Michael
movies.
Douglas?
Yeah, him. Wasn't HBO? Was it?
Did he do something with Michael
Yeah,
Douglas?
where he's like Michael is a acting coach. And that's not talking. I'm not talking about Barry.
Okay.
Although I just finished watching Barry this week too.
The whole series?
Oh
wow.
Were you happy with the ending?
4 seasons. And no, I was not happy with the ending. Okay, I was pretty upset about that.
Don't spoil it for me.
I won't, but I wasn't. I would have changed the ending. But yeah, you don't know what series I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think of a series I was in. I'm actually looking at his filmography right now.
It's with Michael Douglas. I forget the name.
I'm looking at just his movies, but I'm looking at TV shows. Oh, The Kaminsky Method.
Yes, that one. Have you seen that one?
I never watched it.
No, but the title sounds familiar. Yeah, I remember that.
It's funny. He's funny in that series.
Okay.
He's just like so dry and cut.
That's worth watching. It's only 16 episodes over 2 seasons, so that's I should check out.
It's funny. Yeah, you should watch it. I enjoyed the series. It was good. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we get to our main review, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I miss the desert. I miss the sea. And I miss waking up every morning, wondering what wonderful adventure the new day will bring to us.
Those days have come and gone.
Perhaps not.
I don't believe in magic. But a few times in my life, I've seen things I can't explain. And I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
Ellie, I miss you like singing in our shows. You used to do that more.
Where? I did. I don't know why I don't do it. I used to dance a lot too. I just post them. Just like singing and dancing like an idiot. My singing is horrible. But in my mind, I think I'm a great singer.
All right. Well, we just heard a clip from the trailer of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which came out a couple weeks ago, and it got middling reviews, I guess you could say. Audiences, I think, liked it, but let's find out what we thought of the 5th installment of the Indiana Jones films. This one was not directed by Steven Spielberg. But let's hold on here. Here is my.
I forget who directed this one.
James
Mangold.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will be, so I'd like to hear what everyone thought about his directing, and did he channel Steven Spielberg in this film? That'll be interesting to hear. So anyways, who would like to begin with their thoughts on Dial of Destiny?
Did he channel Steven Spielberg? I hope not. I like for him to be individually outside Spielberg.
Well, there's that.
He certainly was.
I think there was a lot of pressure on him to like capture the to capture Steven Spielberg's look and vibe of the past films. So, but we'll get to that. Let's begin. Who are like, Ellie, jump in. I'm throwing you in.
Well, I heard that a lot of people didn't like it, that critics didn't like it, and I really don't really care what critics think, say, or do, because I don't go by their advice. I do my own thing. I watch the film, and if it hits me in a certain way, I'm gonna say that I loved it, and it hit me in a certain way, so I loved it. I loved the adventure and the action. I especially, oh no, I don't want to say it here. I'm gonna say it in the other side. Um, I loved I think Harrison Ford is a handsome old man. Okay. And yeah, he tickled my feather. Is that how you say it? I'm sorry. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I'm not good with expressions in English. Apparently not, because Nathan is like over there.
That got Nathan. By the way, random comment. I'm actually really a nice guy, and if you watch previous podcasts, you won't see evil Sam. So I apologize. My week was truly, truly terrible, but I won't go into it. That's why I can't. Projecting is wrong, and any human that projects their own emotions needs to not do that. So I'm going to stop too. Yeah. And if you're sad or if you're unhappy, don't burden your friends. Pay the money for a therapist because no one else will do it.
Or get a journal and write.
Shell out the dough and go, oh, I'm sad.
In any case, I loved Harrison Ford. I think it's really cool to see him some moves at his age. I enjoy seeing.
You think that was him?
Okay, not the big moves, obviously, but the little moves that he can do, because he moves very slowly now. But, oh, God, the man is just hot. Anyway, but I think, for me, it gave me nostalgic vibes from when I first saw the movie in the 80s, the very first movie, which I love. And sitting in that cinema watching the beginning of the movie, and I'm not gonna say what. I don't know if I can say what the beginning looks like, but just the beginning, it just brought me back to, like, I told Carlos, I was like, I feel like I'm back in the 80s. Like, I feel like I'm watching this, and I'm in whatever. When did that movie come out?
1981 was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm back at that cinema in 1981, and I could just transported myself there, and I'm watching Indiana Jones for the first time, and it was just really cool to have those vibes inside. I really loved it. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay. Sam, what do you say?
So I'll start with the positive. I liked Harrison Ford a lot. I thought that he said at some point in an interview that he was interested in going a little deeper into Indy's character, and he wanted to kind of analyze it, and he felt that he had one more film in him. I definitely agree with that. I thought his performance was great. I will say I found it to be a slight improvement on Crystal Skull because I thought the screenplay was flowier. I felt that even though the action scenes and set pieces kind of underwhelmed me, and I'll get to that, I thought the way in which they began, in which Harrison and Indy, and the manner in which the plot moved forward was very smooth. I felt that Crystal Skull has a lot of really like chunky expository start and stop dialogue, and the pace of that movie is kind of. I thought this movie was flowier than Crystal Skull. I will say, though, personally, I really, really felt the absence of Steven Spielberg's direction. And I think that James Mangold was trying, and I think he's an excellent director with Ford versus Ferrari and Logan and a lot of other movies. This film, I felt like he was sweating bullets to just kind of do a kind of competent job. And everyone, this is not a spoiler, but everyone talks about the de-aged opening scene on the train. I thought that was okay, but for me, Steven Spielberg has such an operatic ballet kind of musical sense of action. Whereas if you look back to something like Last Crusade, where there's the revolving fireplace when they're spinning around and they go into the Nazi room and they turn around and the door goes halfway, there's all this amazing choreography and these wide shots. And I felt that Spielberg touch towards the action was not in this film, even though the action was not bad. To me, it just felt more like kind of standard big blockbuster, solid, good action. So my review is positive, but I was not. I did not. I wanted to feel more of that nostalgic spark that Ellie that you felt, and I'm glad you felt that because I wanted to feel that. I just didn't quite.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
When it showed the title screen and it said Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and it's just like this dark room of like Nazi treasures, it just seemed like such a flat kind of beginning. And they didn't do the Paramount Mountain switching into something, so which is not a big deal. But
it was weird with Disney opening it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a little weird, and I saw it on an IMAX in Providence Place, and it honestly seemed some scenes felt a little like blurry and dark to me, but that might have been the projection. So I would give it a B. I liked Harrison, and I thought I was glad to see him in one last movie, but there's something a little bit lackluster about this film, even though I did see not all of it, but I did see like the whole second half of Crystal Skull like the other night, and I was watching it. And it had all the Spielberg shots. I thought, wait a minute, have I given this movie a bad rap? Then the bad CGI comes in and Shia LaBeouf and the monkeys and the ants. And I was like, no. I remember this. This is not that great, in my opinion. Yeah. I thought the fifth one was an improvement. So that's kind of where I stand in general, like cautiously happy, but not blown away. I got to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think, Sam, I think for me, it's because I go to the movies and I don't walk in there thinking about what to expect. I wait to be surprised. So I have no expectations of any film. I just go in there to see if I like it. And if I don't like it, it's like, boo. But then
I'm the same exact way. And so me talking about this was actually the way it just felt. Just sitting there and watching it, no expectations. Everything of how I reviewed the movie, that's just how I organically felt with one viewing, watching it without thinking too much.
Yeah.
That stuff just absorbs like shot choices and angles. Like it hits me hard every single time. That's why I like directing so much.
Because you're in love with Steven Spielberg, face it.
Well, his filmmaking is just there's nothing I've seen like it, where he uses his camera in a way that no other director has ever done, and it's so subtle and amazing. And I can put a finger on it, but it would like take a book to write about it, and like people do that, like people have written books about Spielberg, but he just has this. I also miss. I know being a stuntman or a stuntwoman is very dangerous, but I miss these shots where there's a shot in Last Crusade where if you look at my arm, the tank is in the foreground like this. Indy is literally riding up on a hill behind the tank, and in a wide shot, the stuntman jumps off the horse and lands on the tank, and you see it in this big shot. So there's this kind of Spielberg structure where you just see things happen before your eyes, and you go, wow, that was amazing. This movie... You can feel
to death.
You can feel cut tricks. Like, when Indy like jumps from one tuk-tuk to another tuk-tuk, and he switches vehicles, and it goes by so quick. You're like, was that a stunt? Was that CGI? I can't tell what I was looking at there. And that is not the case, especially with the first three. There are spectacular stunts in those original movies that are amazing even today. And I miss practical stuff. In a positive note, though, Dial of Destiny is not a CGI fest. It just has a look of like a standard modern blockbuster, and it's a weird. I don't know. That's me.
So, to prepare for this film, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, I did watch the previous 4 films because that's what I do. And I actually rewatched Crystal Skull for the first time since seeing it in the theater. Because I felt like I forgot almost everything about that film. I never went back to revisit it since seeing it in the theater in 2008. And this is not a Crystal Skull review podcast, but I will say that at the time, I felt like I came out of that relatively positive, and I felt like, well, okay, I got the indie experience that I have been missing for like 19 years or whatever it was. And in hindsight, I don't think it's as good as I remembered it. And as you said, there's some really bad CGI in that. Those monkeys are terrible, and Shia LaBeouf like swinging from vines, and like there's some geography that just doesn't make any sense with that scene. And yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but
suspension
it is
of
not.
disbelief is like.
But spoiler for later, it is not the worst Indiana Jones movie.
Dude, I didn't
But
see.
we'll get to that later.
I only saw one, and that's it. And the one that this year came out. That's all I've seen.
You've only seen 2 of the movies?
I only saw the first one and the last one, and not the in betweens.
All right, we're going to stop you right there. Anyway.
Okay, I did see 2.
Anyways, you just threw off my whole game, Ellie.
I'm sorry.
I am sure that I know just because I'm a telepathic. By worst indie, you probably are going to put Temple of Doom last. Temple of Doom is my second to first favorite. I love that film, and I can't wait to defend it because it's a good movie.
Anyways,
I know. I just wanted to see your face, Nathan.
And the guys on if you Google Red Letter Media, YouTube, watch their review of Temple of Doom. They agree with me. They've got millions of views. So,
anyways, but so I went to see Dial of Destiny, and what was the most important thing to see this movie is that I took my dad, because one of my I think my first theatrical experience that I can remember is seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark with my dad. I know it's not the first movie I saw with my dad, because I think the first movie I saw with my dad was Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh, wow.
And I think I made him leave. I think we left in the middle of the movie because the movie was so boring, because I was young and like, Dad, this is not Star Wars. This is so boring. I want to go home. So I think we left in the middle of the movie. So I don't think we finished the movie, because I was like crying in the theater.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture is slow.
Wait, you walked out of the movie because you thought it was boring?
Listen, I was probably...
Star Trek: The Motion Picture has a 10-minute docking sequence where it's like Kirk is approaching and he's like looking out the window. Then it cuts. He's getting closer to the ship, back to his face. Oh, and then we fly around the ship. Nope, that's not the end. 5 more minutes until they get to the hatch.
When you're like 4 years old, or whatever, however old I was, and you are the biggest Star Wars fan, and you're like, yeah, take me to see Star Trek. It's got Star in it. And of course, I probably had been somewhat familiar with the TV show, which was 10 times more exciting than the movie. All right.
I'll say a quick comment. That movie was hugely expensive. Like that was a $40 million movie. That cost more than Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like 5 years later. And there's so much like budget into the set, but the movie is like airless. Anyway, sorry to but yeah.
So this is why I'm saying that Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably the first movie that we completed in the theater. And what I also remember from that experience, and my dad took me to see this, is that movie also scared the hell out of me, because if everyone remembers, the final scene in that is everyone's face melts at the end of the spoiler alert on a 42-year-old movie. But that gave me nightmares because nobody expected that to happen.
You know what's crazy? I love that scene so much. When I was a kid, I saw it when I was a kid in kindergarten. I drew the face melting scene for my like kindergarten class picture. The teacher saw it. It was every other student was like pictures of hearts and bunnies. They saw mine. It's a bunch of Nazis with their face melting. I drew it with crayons. And they had a parent teacher conference. They're like, "We're worried about your son is a little like," and my dad was like, "No, he just loves Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's just imitating the movie."
Yeah. But I don't know, but still, I think that also solidified in me that experience because it was such a you know what? I'm a big fan of the movie Inside Out, where you make these core memories. You know how that, and that is a core memory of mine. Seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark with my father in a movie theater in I think Madison, Connecticut, when I was 7 years old or so, or 6 years old. I don't remember. And that I've remembered my entire life, him taking me probably to my first real movie or so where I made it the whole time. I think I saw Star Wars also probably in the movie theater. I just don't really remember, but I remember this. It's the first time I remember it. So this is a really special thing for me. And I've seen every single Indiana Jones movie at the theater with my dad since then. And I know that this is the last Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford. So I knew that I had to take him. And I took him. This is the first time where I took him to the movies. So this was a very emotional experience because my dad also is 78 years old. And I may never take him to see another Indiana Jones movie again, you know? So as I'm watching this with him, it was a very, very emotional time. And when this movie started, I don't think this is spoiling anything, but you know, the beginning of this movie is a de-aged Harrison Ford. And what I will say is I didn't expect so much of the movie to be a de-aged Harrison Ford. And I'd say the whole first act is that, which shocked me. I thought it was going to be like maybe a few minutes of it, and I loved that whole part of the movie. I thought it was some of the best de-aging I had ever seen. What they didn't do, which was interesting, is do anything with his voice. It was still young Harrison Ford with like 81-year-old voice, which was a little weird. But
they
nonetheless,
could make it younger too if they wanted to. Don't they have stuff?
They could have if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But maybe that would have. I don't know why they didn't. But anyways, watching that younger version of that, I loved that whole train sequence and everything that was going on. I felt like a 7-year-old again. Like we were watching not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but like another multiverse movie of Harrison Ford. Like maybe this came out in 1982.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly how I felt too about the whole sequence.
I felt like a kid watching Harrison Ford making a sequel that never came out a few years later. And like, this was the lost movie from 1982 or 1983, or I dare say something that instead of Temple of Doom, this movie came out, you know, I want a 2-hour version of this. This de-aging I thought was so good. I want a 2-hour version of Harrison Ford from 1983 of this. I could have watched that. Yeah. I thought this was so good.
I wanted to like that scene, but the CGI and the way it was shot and the fact that it wasn't Spielberg, I was just like, nah.
Didn't bother me at all.
Didn't work for me. Yeah. I liked it just fine, but
I was completely wrapped up in it. My heart was fluttering. I was there, and it might have just been my circumstance sitting there in the theater next to my dad. I felt like giddy, like,
it wasn't just you. That's exactly how I felt though. Like I was telling Carlos that, like, Carlos is sitting next to me, and I was like, I feel like I'm back in I totally felt like I was back in 1980 now, watching another movie of the rated, Indiana Jones, and
And
I
I
was
think
just
it's
like,
supposed to be like 1944 or something like that. It's supposed to be like 8 years later or something like that. He's supposed to
Yeah.
be in his mid 40s, so it could have been. But anyways, it doesn't matter. But it.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
And I know not everybody agrees with that. There's some people, I've read some things about people complaining about that scene, but I was lost in the emotions of that moment.
Yep.
And I got caught up in it. And it was my personal situation, my personal circumstance. I got choked up. I absolutely got choked up in that. And I do maybe wish that it wasn't so dark, the scenes, because it was.
Yeah, because it was all the CGI. Like if they had gotten a real train and had like a real track and actually. It was, but not. I mean, when they land and they look up and at the, the whole like layout, there's just a lot of augmentation. They're hiding CGI in the darkness.
I get it.
I wasn't fooled by it. If I'll take Raiders, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. That's where the practical rich thing wants. CGI augmentation, rainy nighttime things, and de-aging is fine for a video game. But there's so many other better videos.
I didn't even know it was CGI.
But I saw that and I'm like, fine, steal my heart. I don't care. I take it because I needed that moment.
No,
I needed that moment. But anyways, I haven't really gotten to the movie, and I don't want to take too much time because I'm just feel like I'm scratching the surface here. But as far as the film, I thought I really did like this film a lot. I thought this was a much better improvement over Crystal Skull in general. I think this was, not to get into details of the ending, but I thought this was an extremely good send-off for Indy's character, much better than Crystal Skull. In hindsight, I don't like the way Crystal Skull ended his character, and I think this had so much great to say about his character at the end, and we'll get to that because I felt like it had a couple endings for his character where I was like, oh, this is where they're going with it, and then like, whoa, and then they kind of pulled the rug out, and then it even like gave me another ending that I thought was even more brilliant. So it did a couple things that I just thought were very well done. There's a lot I want to say about the third act in this that I'm still mixed on what they did and what they could have done that I think would have been so much better. But overall, I want to say that this movie, despite what critics and some people are complaining about, I thought was very, very good. I had a great time with this. I loved Phoebe Waller-Bridge in this. I thought she was perfect for this movie as a sidekick to Harrison Ford in this. I liked her in Fleabag a lot. That was one of my favorite shows from a couple years ago. Although I didn't know if I really liked her arc in this, but I like her as an actress a lot. I thought this other side character, there was a boy in this, I think Teddy. I felt like I didn't think maybe his character was fully fleshed out. And some of I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the bad guy in this, who I love as an actor.
Mads Mikkelsen.
I like him in everything.
Yeah.
He was good, but him and his henchmen, I feel like there's another actor that is great in things, and
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
And he is great and stuff. And his name is, I can't find it now, but I don't think they really gave great service to some of the supporting cast in this. Antonio Banderas is one of my all-time favorite actors. They completely do a disservice to his character. He's introduced in this movie, and it's like, oh, Indy, my favorite pal from going back so many years. Like, well, where's the history with you guys? And
I thought Salo would come on the adventure as opposed to just talk to him. He's like, go for it, Indy. See you later. Back to the library.
It's a walk-on cameo.
Yeah.
And that didn't really bother me that much, but it was kind of like just he'd show up and show your face. Boyd Holbrook is the character I'm thinking of, who has such a great face, and I really liked him. But there's some of the Mad Mikkelsen's henchmen. I just felt like were just kind of like not fleshed out, and not that they should have been, but there was more to this movie. I think that they could have done with some of these side characters that I would have loved to have them to have explored. But overall, I think this is a great improvement over Crystal Skull. Is how I'll leave it for now until we get to spoilers. All right. And last thing I'll say, the score. I thought it was okay. It was nice. It was nice to get John Williams back in there. Serviceable. Didn't really do anything new.
It was fine. It's John Williams is always amazing.
Yeah.
But he was kind of playing greatest hits.
Yeah.
And like on the train, he'd like awkwardly weave in some like Last Crusade bits, and it was just like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Nostalgia clickbait, CGI, dark, rainy, muddy train. Guess that fools some people, but I like practical stuff.
Yeah. So, all right. Why don't we get to spoilers now?
Are we in spoilers?
We're in spoilers for Dial of Destiny.
Ha, Shia LaBeouf died.
I know. Aren't we kind of? Is anybody kind of sad? Like we never got that Shia LaBeouf
I didn't dislike him. I just liked how the filmmakers like viciously got rid of him. They're like, oh yeah, you want to come back? We killed you in Vietnam. No money for you.
I
he has
know
money
that
from other projects, so I'm sure he's
heartless.
fine.
Heartless.
Yeah, it was rough, but it was
not even a picture. Not even a picture in the frame somewhere, right?
And it's sad because he's such a major character in Crystal Skull, so that he gets killed off screen in the war. It's just like, oh
yeah.
It just I thought he was decent I didn't hate him in Crystal Skull. I felt a little bad he wasn't there, but I just was it was such a dismissive way to get rid of him. I was like, oh, that's sad,
But I think it served the character.
It did.
Well, I like how they used it to explain why Miriam and Indy are separated, and so they used it properly. I would say. Yeah. So what do we want to talk about in spoilers here? Because I think there's a lot I want to say about the third act, but anything about the adventure here or the characters? How would we like to start this here? I have a lot to say about the third act, but I don't know.
I thought that, when he was transported back in time, that was interesting. It ended so abruptly, but I thought it was kind of a decent part of the third act. A lot of the story I thought was, aside from that in the third act, I can't think of many major spoilers because most of the movie is kind of like sleek, decently well executed chases. They run to this place, they run to this place, they almost get caught, they run to another place. It's just like the template was.
There really isn't much to spoil it. Except for you've already said it before the spoilers that he was de-aged. So I thought I didn't talk about it because I thought that would have been a spoiler, but.
It's all over the trailers. The
de-aging did look really good. Like I can't deny that. It was funny when he talked and his voice didn't quite line up. But I will say the de-aging has come a long way. I remember being impressed when Moff Tarkin was back in Rogue One, or they brought back the dead actor and at the time it looked amazing. Now I look at it and it looks like a video game face. So we're getting, we acclimate as the technology gets better and better. What you remember looking amazing, you look back and you go, ooh, that wasn't as great as I remembered it, because it keeps improving.
Yeah, but this de-aging looks great. So
it did look really good. Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
I first I thought it's like, is that from the beginning? I was thinking like, how did they shoot that back then and now? Like,
and I do understand that why you guys like the train sequence, and I wanted to too. I just was happy when I don't like to side with critics and be negative. I was just happy to read articles out there where people felt the way that I felt, because I was like, yeah, that's unfortunately how I felt. But I always want to be transported and engaged. I mean, I love movies in general. I have Ebola. I'm sorry. Just kidding. I don't.
So,
I don't know.
So I mentioned like things. There's a couple, like, I thought that, like I was saying before, there's characters I think really weren't fleshed out. Some of them, like, I'm really still bothered by Antonio Banderas. He is a star, and first of all, I didn't recognize him. Number one.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
and it took me like I think 2 scenes to realize that. Oh, that's
finally realized it was. I was like, oh yeah.
The minute he opened his mouth, I knew it was him.
And then he's dispatched so unceremoniously in this movie too. I wish that he would have kind of come along on the adventure some more. And I love Antonio Banderas since like Desperado and even before that, and some of his earlier work. And I was just so sad that he's just like such an afterthought in this movie. Like, how did he get in this movie? Like, does he go back with like James Mangold in some movies? I don't know. Like, what is he doing in this movie?
There was one. You talk about I totally agree with you. And you talk about the third act. You know the scene when and I don't remember the exact like plot reason, but they walk up like a hill and they go into that cave, and there's the whole like cavernous scene with the bugs and the. That I thought was really good, and I almost wanted that to be fleshed out a bit more. I felt that the movie kind of jumps from set piece to set piece, and I was like, instead of 5 okay set pieces, I would have loved like 2 or 3 amazing ones. And it's funny, talking about being sensitive to shots. When they're approaching that cave, there's a shot where they're walking up towards it, and the camera's like moving up over their shoulders, and you see like cliff walls. You can tell that they're really outside somewhere, and you can feel the lack of manipulation in that shot. For a second, I felt like I was transported to 1989. It looked like that, and then it felt like that, and then it was like, and now to a set. I don't know. I'm very sensitive towards.
I didn't notice any of that. I was just watching the movie.
Stuff like that, even if you're. Put it this way, even if you're not a fan of, and I'll just go, this is a random comment, go right back on track, but even if you're not a fan of Temple of Doom, there's a shot in that movie where Indy comes around a cavernous corner and it like just starts following him, and it's over his shoulder, and in a single wide shot, the camera reveals the entirety of the Temple of Doom below him.
Yes.
And you're like, whoa, it's like a Spielberg version of like Welcome to Hell, and I feel this like chilling like and Mangold's framing is good, but it's more like and a close-up and an over the shoulder and a cut. Like it was the filmmaking was more standard.
Yeah, it's more textbook. I get it.
Yeah. Not bad though. I'm not like I didn't hate it. I just didn't feel that like I really wanted to feel how you guys felt with that train sequence. I wish I did,
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the third act. Now, there's some clever things that happen in this, but what happens? So the dial of destiny. So Mads Mikkelsen gets the 2 pieces, and that's what's going on here. There's this big chase, and they're all over the place trying to get these 2 pieces, which I thought was relatively well done. How they're on this adventure to get these 2 pieces, but the goal is, I think, was to go back to 1940 something to Was it to kill Hitler?
He wanted to kill Hitler and like take over for Hitler or something.
So the goal was to go back there, but they end up to 200 BC. Now, what's interesting is, we end up there. Now, at first I was like, well, that's interesting. I would have liked, this is my personal feeling. I don't know what you guys think, but
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
For some reason, I would have liked it if there was more, since this is the final Harrison Ford Indiana Jones movie. I would have liked it if there was somehow more of a connection to the 1980s movies. Like if this was somehow they were going back to acquire the Ark of the Covenant or something like that. It would have, this all came back to the beginning of our adventures with Indiana Jones.
Yes, I know what
And
you're
instead
saying.
we're on a completely different adventure. Like if this was somehow we brought it back to the beginning, since we're I don't know. That always thought that kind of bothered me a little bit. That there was an opportunity to bring this full circle, the whole Indiana Jones story. That would have been, I think, an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
Instead, there were this other whole thing about going, and we end up in 200 BC, which was still, I thought, pretty fascinating. And I love what happens where they're flying these planes, and at first you think you're in like 1944, 1945 Germany. You see the boats underneath them, and like, wow, they're there. Then all of a sudden you realize, no, those are not 19 ships from 1944. Excuse me. And then the spear comes in through that plane. I thought it was fantastic how those scenes are orchestrated. So I don't know. I had a great time the way this whole thing happens, and then the second plane follows them through. Teddy can pilot a plane. Is that what happens? The little boy?
Yeah.
I don't know. When did he learn to fly?
One thing I was not feeling was I know it's the longest Indiana Jones. It seemed to be pretty breezy to me. Like I was
long.
I was on board for the ride. Like, I mean, because it's like 15. It's two.
You thought it was still long.
No, it's like 2
Last
hours.
Crusade's the same, I think, isn't it?
This is 2 hours 25 minutes. Last Crusade is 126 minutes in total, including credits. But
okay.
I didn't realize it was the end, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, it's the end." I felt like we crashed into the ending, and I was like, "Oh, I thought we were at the halfway point." I mean, it seemed to kind of just go by to me.
Yeah, it did.
So, what did you guys think about the end? I'd like to get your opinions, like especially the part where they're crashing in 200 BC, and you know what happens here. Like Indy he wants to stay. And did you think that was going to be the end of this movie?
I did. I thought he was going to stay back there, and that was going to be the end. And then when she punched him and brought him back, I was so fine with it, but it just seemed kind of like we're in the middle of this big thing going on, and then you get punched out of it, and it's like, okay, back to his New York apartment. Great, But I understand that it was the personal arc. Now he has people that care about him, and now he has like sort of a family unit again. So it was like a good ending for him, the character.
But if he stayed there with Archimedes, he would have changed the whole course of our world.
There's that. Yeah. Would he have even survived? I mean, he was shot.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't have done well. There's no like modern medicine. Like it would have been rough.
He would have probably died within hours.
But he wanted to die. He wanted to stay there because he wanted to die.
He wanted to die there with. Who was it? Archimedes or what was it?
Archimedes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Archimedes was the guy in my mathematics textbook in my country. So.
I was when that was happening there, I was like, my jaw dropped. Like, this is perfect. This is how Indy is going to become one with history. This is how the character ends, and he become this. It made so much sense to me. And then I was like, I thought the filmmakers were geniuses when that was about to happen. I did not see the punch coming.
I didn't either.
I did not see that coming. It's like, how, because when he makes up his mind and like he was gonna do, like, this is it, and it made so much sense. And like, as much as I had some gripes with the movie, and like I didn't like the fact that like we had this convoluted story, like, we're in 200 BC. Like, what is going on here? Why are we here of all places? Like, sure,
you went back there because remember the device.
I know.
It's Archimedes who created the device. And
I get it. Yeah. It like, as much as I had problems with the whole movie, the last 10 minutes of the movie made it all worth it. That's why. It was like, oh, I get it now. We all went through this weird story to get to this moment here. And the movie went from like, seriously, like probably a B to like A- for me in the last 10 minutes of the movie, because of the emotional impact of it. It was at an A in the beginning, and I think kind of like the weird stuff that was going in the beginning, like, it was kind of like generic globetrotting, a lot of the stuff in the middle with like Mads Mikkelsen and like, oh, we're going after this device to get another device, to get another device. We have to go here, we have to go there. There was a lot of that going on. And then when we got to the third act, where we're going through time, it was like, whoa, we are in uncharted territory. We're in an Indiana Jones movie now, where I don't know what's going to happen. When we go back 200 BC, I'm like, this is insane. And this is like the Holy Grail. This is Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the Ark of the Covenant is open. We are now in absolute wackyville here. This is why I come to these movies.
I like the unpredictability of it. It was really exciting.
Yeah. So this is what I love about these movies. I come to these kind of movies because this was like something I never expected this movie to go. I never expected to be here in this movie. And I was so thankful that they went here, because this movie could have done so many cop-out generic things. I think like Crystal Skull kind of did a generic thing at the end, a very ho-hum thing at the end of that movie. This movie went someplace I never expected it would. And that's why I rate this movie very high, because of what it did at the end. It had the emotional gut punch at the end, and then it gave me another emotional gut punch at the end, when at the very end we are back in New York and we have that he is reunited with Marion, where they have that dance at the end, and he is where he needs to be, to live out the rest of his life. So it I teared up at the end. I really did, twice in two places, because I felt like at first this is where he needs to be. Oh no, this is where he needs to be. So it was like, and then it really I got chills watching the whole thing. And then when it ended, I realized this is it. This is where Indy is now. And I walked out of the theater knowing that this is where I will leave Indiana Jones, and that's okay.
Yep.
And I was really happy with that. I don't feel like it did not feel cheeseball. It felt genuine and authentic. And I felt so good having this experience with my dad.
That was great. Yeah, that's great.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel like I just kind of hogged this whole conversation. I'm sorry.
No. How would you rank the Indiana Jones?
Okay,
films?
So we'll get to that. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will always rank Raiders of the Lost Ark first, because it is that seminal moment watching that. I think that is a near perfect movie.
Yeah. Maybe
top 10 movies of all time.
Easy. Yeah.
My second favorite is The Last Crusade. I think it's what's funny, when I first saw that movie, Sam, I didn't love it. I thought it was just like, oh, it's just a 2-hour chase movie. It's just like we're on a Zeppelin, we're on a boat, we're on a motorcycle. We're on a tank. It's like, when does this movie take a breath? And I think that bothered me at first. And now I love it because of the energy that movie has. And it's a kind of a goofy movie too. It's a comedy. But now I think I really, really dig it. You know what my third favorite of the series is?
Dial of Destiny? Yeah.
This one. This is my third favorite Indiana Jones movie, Dial of Destiny. I think it is. And I don't know if many people would say that, but I really enjoyed it a lot. My fourth, all right. My fourth, okay. I was going to say something different in the beginning of this, but I am going to change it again, just because of where I was when I watched it. I think my fourth still has to be Temple of Doom.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God you didn't put that above Crystal Skull, man. I would not have come back to this podcast.
I thought
I can't do it.
Because when I was mentioning Crystal Skull before, I was thinking about there's parts of Crystal Skull that I think work very, very well.
There are.
Ultimately, when I think about it, it leaves me just feeling kind of like dissatisfied as a whole.
Thank you for that.
This Crystal Skull is a lesser movie because of what Dial of Destiny is.
I thank you so much for that seed of joy of not putting. You just made my week. That's the only positive moment that I'm going to have in this whole week. Like to the audience out there, like it has not been a good week, but this week is not the norm. Like it'll get better, and I know I've been like just way too like negative, but thank you for the joy of not putting it last, because it's just that would have been one more like painful like stabbed in my chest, you know.
Okay, for you, Sam.
For me, I would say. Oh no, keep going. Yeah.
And Crystal Skull last.
I would say for me, it's Raiders. 1, 2 would be Last Crusade. 3 would be Temple of Doom. 4 is Dial of Destiny, and 5th would be Crystal Skull. That's just the way I would just.
I think most people would rank it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. This one guy, Rich, on the I think his name is on the Red Letter Media. He was saying that he made an interesting comment about how he likes some of Temple of Doom set pieces better than Last Crusade, but he thinks the Last Crusade tank chase is his favorite set piece in all Indy, and that was a pretty great thing. And I'm aware of the problems of Temple of Doom. I think the reason I like it is because it's such a weird outlier that it's like the movie's like a fever dream from hell kind of. It's just like that's kind of what I like about it, that it's so different. But it's funny, I've watched that movie so much more than Last Crusade, but I recognize from a critical standpoint, Last Crusade is probably the better film. I think Last Crusade is Spielberg's favorite. Temple of Doom is Spielberg's least favorite. He has openly said he doesn't like it that much. And Raiders, obviously, he says, is one of the few movies that he can watch without being critical of himself as a director. Spielberg can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and just enjoy it as a movie. And I think that's really cool that, you know, he made it, but he can watch it and be entertained as the audience and not be like, oh, remember that shot at 6 a.m. when the sun was he can just clear his head and enjoy it. So that's how I would rate it, though. And I know that sounds negative I didn't dislike Dial of Destiny. I agree with what you're saying. It's just because those first 3 to me are so good that both Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, I can't get them into that same. If it was like a mountain slope, they'd be like on a higher slope, and there'd be like a couple of ropes dangling off, and like Crystal Part 4 and 5 would be like climbers that are like, we're getting there.
Ellie, I know you haven't seen all of them, but do you?
No, I have seen them.
You have. Okay.
I just wanted to see your face.
Oh, okay, good.
Which
you lied to us.
What?
Why?
You guys though, it's so funny because your faces are like, huh? It's just like, chill. I was just kidding.
Where are you at with these?
You know what's even funny? You didn't even hear me when I said I'm just kidding. You didn't hear me.
I just muted you after that. I haven't heard a single thing you said.
All right, so for me, I have to say, obviously, number one is always going to be my favorite one. Just, Raiders of the
Raiders,
Lost
yeah.
Ark is just there's something about that. Plus, it was made in 1981. I was young. I just enjoyed going to the movies with my friends. We were rowdy. so, then for me, the second one would be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. No, I'm sorry, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Then Indiana Jones and what do we call the last one? I forget the last
Dial
one.
of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny is my third. Then the Doom, and then
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
the Skull, because I don't like the Skull at all.
Yeah.
I didn't like that movie.
Our lists are the same, Ellie.
What? We are? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, so you picked 3 as the diamond.
Wait, right? Yeah, yeah. Ours, we have the same list.
Yeah, I love the Crusade. I think for me, those 3 top movies are like the 3 top always, and I can watch them again and again, and I just love the energy, and I love, I run to Indiana Jones music, right?
Oh, nice.
I do.
I did not know that.
I do. I put that Indiana Jones down, and it just give me that energy, and I'm thinking I'm Indiana Jones myself.
Okay.
Nathan, since you saw Crystal Skull recently, wouldn't you agree that there's really awkward expository You know what I mean? How that movie kind of like, it's like chunk, dunk, 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 dunk. Like it just is like, well, volumes of talk, and then I don't know. I thought that Dial of Destiny was smoother with the dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it's more. It gets into the action. It gets into the plot faster, and it's more different. Absolutely.
I actually really like the stuff in New York at the beginning, like that horse chase in the subway.
Yeah,
that was working for
so
me.
cool. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was funny too. Like
That was probably the most giddy I felt with that scene. I was like, Indiana Jones movie. I don't know why. It just really worked for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and Indiana Jones started his career at 42, right? 38, 40.
Oh, Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Younger.
did stuff in early 70s. He didn't become a big star until.
No, but I'm saying like Hollywood star. He wasn't like big star until like his late.
Raiders. He was 38 when he did
Yeah.
Raiders.
American
That's what I'm saying,
Graffiti was what, 73?
Who?
73. Yeah.
So he must have been like in his mid 20s.
He was young in that
26,
one, yeah.
27 or so.
When? Which one?
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti. He has a smaller role as Bob Falfa in George Lucas's incredible picture. It's a
Look,
good movie.
I love that man. So yeah.
All right. Well, I think that should wrap up our discussion of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Are either one of these any good? Sir,
What?
are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Well, have you heard anything about either one of them?
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
You mean you haven't heard anybody say anything about either one of these?
Nope.
Well, what about these two?
Oh, they suck.
Why don't we get to our recommendation shelf? This week we are recommending Globetrotting Adventure films. And who would like to begin?
Me? I'll start because I freaking love my movie. Okay.
Okay,
I love
go,
my
Ellie.
movie. It's called Christopher Nolan, one of my very, very favorite directors. Okay, I watch anything Christopher Nolan, and I love Inception. Oh my goodness, that movie just did something to me. Okay, if you've have you ever had a dream within a dream within a dream? Have you? Because I have. I swear I've had a
Sort of,
dream.
maybe. Yeah.
No, I have. I have had a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. And I thought it was so perfectly, it was so well done. Like the way that he's
How
structured.
do you know you're still not in it?
But that's the thing. So, I gotta have something like
The
something that
top. You
tells
need
me
a
that
top right
yeah,
now.
I need something, right? What did he have in that movie? DiCaprio? The little
Oh, the spinning.
the spinning
Yeah.
thing.
The spinning
What do you
top.
call that? Yeah, I gotta find me something, but
You have one of those all the time now.
this could be a dream. What do I know?
When we're asleep, our mind can do almost anything.
Such as?
Well, imagine you're designing a building, right? You consciously create each aspect. But sometimes it feels like it's almost creating itself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I'm discovering it.
Genuine inspiration, right? Now, in a dream, our mind continuously does this. We create and perceive our world simultaneously, and our mind does this so well that we don't even know what's happening. That allows us to get right in the middle of that process.
How?
By taking over the creating part. Now, this is where I need you. You create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their subconscious.
How could I ever acquire enough detail to make them think that it's reality?
Well, dreams, they feel real while we're in them, right? It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange. Let me ask you a question. You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you? You always wind up right in the middle of what's going on.
I guess, yeah.
So how did we end up here?
But I love the movie. I love what Nolan did with the whole structure of how he structures the buildings and how he, when you go from one dream to the next dream, how you can be in Paris in one of the dreams. And my goodness, I loved everything about this movie, and what Nolan does is just superb in my book. Like Nolan can do no wrong. Although people didn't like Tenet, I actually did. I went to the actual. Everyone
you
was
were the
in
one.
pandemic. Yeah, during the pandemic, everybody was like stuck in their homes. I went to the movies because I'm not gonna watch Nolan in the little
Yeah.
TV.
No, I saw it in the theater too. I don't think I've ever not seen a Nolan movie in a theater.
You can't. You really can't. You
cannot.
have to
You
go
cannot.
to the theater and watch his films. Like you're doing a disservice to yourself if you watch it in the little TV.
For all of mankind, go see Nolan in the theater.
Seriously,
For yourself, for your fellow human
what are
beings.
you doing if you're not? Oh my god!
I'll watch Oppenheimer on a bus on my phone instead.
I'm gonna
of
watch. Right here. Watch.
Oh, the explosion!
I'm going to Oppenheimer.
If you put it this close to your face, it's like IMAX.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I mean, the worlds he creates in this movie, they're complex, they're beautiful. I loved everything. I love DiCaprio. I love I think oh my god, what's his name? He was in that 10 Things I Hate About You. That actor. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah,
I love him, and I think he
Me
reminds
too.
me of Keith
He needs to
Ledger
do
in a
more.
way. He what?
He needs to do more. He's been kind of quiet.
he is. He's so good.
He
I like him
has-
in Third Rock from the
Do-
Sun as well. I love that show.
I think he's quiet because he has this website that I actually I belong to this world that he created, where he has creators come, you join his work, his website, and he gives you like little exercises, and he makes you create little worlds, little things, little skits, little movies. So I love it. He's teaching too. He's teaching
Yes.
as well. Tom Hardy is in this movie, and Alan Page.
Mhm.
Tom Hardy is so hot. And so you didn't hear that, right? Okay, you didn't hear that. Okay.
What? No.
What else? I don't know. Just if you have not seen Inception, this is one of. I actually bought the movie, so it's on my shelf.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like DVD, and it's one of those movies that if you have not seen it, go rent it, watch. I think it's. Do you know where it's playing? I forget what it's playing.
Streaming Inception.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Well, definitely
You know,
on VOD, but you could probably see it.
let me tell you right now. Inception is playing Apple TV, Prime.
Yep.
And Voodoo.
It's on VOD. It's not streaming right now, but it's available on basically all of the VOD platforms like Amazon, Apple, Google Play.
Yeah.
All those places. Renting for like $3.99.
$3.99.
Yeah, go see it, people. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a must watch. Yeah,
you got it. And just one last thing, I was gonna say about this movie is that I forgot. But that's my movie.
Okay. All right, Sam, what do you got?
So for Globetrotting, for me, I'm a huge fan of the second Jason Bourne film, The Bourne Supremacy, because it starts in Goa, India, then it goes to Berlin, then it goes to Moscow. And
I know.
And I just, for some reason, that second film, what I really like about it is the first film sort of introduces Jason Bourne and is really good. The third film is is a great resolution that kind of wraps up his story, even though it continues later. But 2 is this kind of like Empire Strikes Back-y kind of vibe in the Bourne world, where forces are still after him and he's on the run. It's dark, but I find it wildly entertaining.
This is Jason Bourne.
Bourne?
It's Bourne. 90 seconds to triangulate his position.
What do you want?
Are you running Treadstone?
Treadstone was closed down 2 years ago. You know that.
Then who's planning the missions now?
There are no missions. It's over.
Then what do you want with me?
Berlin. Have you forgotten what happened in Berlin? You killed 2 people, Bourne. You killed 2 people, Bourne. Bourne?
I want to come in.
Okay. How do you want to do it?
I need someone I know to bring me in.
Who?
There was a girl in Paris. She's part of the program. She used to handle logistics. Alexander Strasse. 30 minutes under the world clock. Send her alone. Give her your phone.
I just love the kinetic energy of the way the movie is shot. It's here I am talking about how much I love like Steven Spielberg's like operatic ballet Indiana Jones. This movie, one person once said a sentence that I never forgot. They said the Jason Bourne films feel like they're edited in a Cuisinart, but I don't mind that because there is a car chase with Matt Damon and Carl Urban in Moscow at the end of that movie that is the most kinetic energy, high octane car chase I've ever seen. And the magic of the direction is every shot is edited within an inch of its life, and there's so much dizzying information flying at you, yet somehow I still know what's going on, what car is where, and how the action is unfolding. And there's just so many cool, detailed like hooks in the action. Just these little moments of like, say Damon, he's being chased through a store and the bad guy's coming in. So he creates a scene in one aisle and he smashes a bunch of bottles and knocks a shelf over as a distraction. And then he runs in. It's just, there's these little action bit details. So for me, yeah, Bourne Supremacy, incredible movie. I saw it in the theater in 2004, still holds up. And I also like it because I've been to Goa, India and Berlin. So it makes me feel cool watching the movie. I like Jason Bourne jogs down the beach, and I went to that beach just so I could imitate that scene from the movie. I haven't been to Russia. No plans on going there now. but Berlin. So I just the energy in that movie is awesome. Big fan. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. It was about a year and a half ago I decided to marathon all the Jason Bourne movies because I don't think I saw the last 2. Was there one after Jason Bourne, or was that the most recent one?
That was the 4th one. That was the most recent. There was nothing after that. There was a
Jeremy Renner one. I never saw the Jeremy Renner one, and I never saw the Jason Bourne one. So I decided I just need to watch all of them together, like in a week. So I saw them all back to back to back to back to back to back, and it was a lot of fun, just kind of like going through all of them. And, yeah. Great series. I don't know if they're doing more of them. I don't think they might not.
No, it feels kind of the story seems like where could it go now? He's
we're 7 years away from the whole thing getting rebooted. Is my prediction.
Probably.
We're there. I liked the Jeremy Renner movie. That thing got.
I liked it too. Yeah.
Bashed.
Yeah, me too.
It got bashed, but I really like. I think Jeremy Renner's a fantastic actor, and I'm really sad that they didn't. I feel like they could have done more with the movie. Could have been a better movie, but I really had a good time with that, and I was kind of sad that it was kind of like dismissed. I had a really good time with that one, but I
enjoyed it. Yeah. I don't remember it well, but I remember being like, "Oh, this is interesting." It was different, but it was a decent movie on its own right, you know.
Yeah. So, my pick. So I think it's been ages since I've seen this one. So I am going to recommend this film mostly from memory. But for this week on the subject of Globetrotting Adventures, I'm recommending the Steven Spielberg 2002 film Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, cool.
I love that.
Yeah, this film star. I feel like we always this is appropriate because we've been talking about Indiana Jones, but this film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, who comes up a lot in this.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks is. I love Tom Hanks in that movie. So, I like it. He just. I like how he gets pissed off with his the joke throughout the movie. His agent's art is dedicated to him. He's like, and here's how we do a bank robbery. Next slide, please. Yep. Next slide, please. So the square button, press the square. And he's like, well, would you like to hear a joke? And then he says that line. But that movie I liked more and more over the years.
You could probably talk about this better than I can, Sam, because I haven't seen this in over 20 years. But I just remember so many vivid moments of this movie, and I need to revisit it. But when I was thinking about globetrotting movies, I just remember this probably falls into that category. So we got Leonardo DiCaprio as a young thief. Tom Hanks is his pursuer. And I just remember this really great cat and mouse story, caper. It's one of the best ones probably put into celluloid in the last 20 years. And DiCaprio and Hanks are just magnificent in this. Yeah. I remember the production design, the costuming in this, representing the late 60s era was gorgeous.
So well done.
I remember the opening title sequence, even though I haven't seen this movie in so long. I just remember
John Williams
John Williams' score. It's one of his most unique scores as well, I think. It's got that Saul Bass style opening sequence title as well. Definitely worth just listening to the score just for that, because it's so different.
The Girl from Ipanema, one of my favorite songs.
But to address the globetrotting aspect, I just remember the characters. I just recall some beautiful locations around France and the United States, and they're just going back and forth, chasing each other all over the place. Many scenes.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be such a jerk. You just said globetrotting.
Globetrotting?
Globetrotting.
That's my dyslexia coming through.
I'm so sorry keep talking. My bad.
I remember many scenes on these old-fashioned Pan Am flights, a lot of those happening. So it's just this great kind of trip down nostalgic lane,
Really? Now I want to see it again.
See, that movie's awesome because it's also suspenseful because you don't know when he's going to get caught. Tom Hanks gets close, and the screenplay always keeps you guessing. And a movie that's the opposite in quality of that, where the script is just this, and I'll be really short, but there's a terrible, it's not awful, but there's a movie called Species directed by Roger Donaldson, came out in mid-95, alien movie where it's this, and she's an alien, but I realized, because I saw it a couple, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, why isn't this working? And the reason was because I noticed the structure is the alien goes and she kills someone, murders a guy, and then the team looking for her catches up and almost catches her. Then she goes and murders someone else, and they almost catch her. So the structure was she's like equidistantly ahead of them all the time, whereas Catch Me If You Can, sometimes Leo is doing but then Tom Hanks almost. There's a lot more. The interplay is like the difference between like a great Super Bowl game and a bad one, and like Catch Me If You Can is a great Super Bowl game where both teams are like, whoa, what, there's two sides, what's gonna happen, and you really don't know, and you're enthralled the whole time.
So are you with my movie, okay?
And what else? This script is from Jeff Nathanson, who actually is the writer of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, what do you know?
Yeah, what do you know? This script is far superior. So, anyway.
It really is. All I want to say about my movie is that it took no than 10 years to write Inception.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly enough, the name Cobb, that's DiCaprio's name in the movie, COBB. Is that how you say it? Cobb?
Yeah.
Cobb, yeah.
He's used that name in another movie called The Following.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen that movie?
You know what? I think it's the one Nolan movie I have not seen.
Yeah, it's in
Never have seen The Following.
Criterion Channel, and I had never seen that before, but it's like a very interesting movie, and I know that there's a character in that movie, he called him Cobb too, just like DiCaprio's name here. It was interesting. I think that was one of his first movies, Following.
It was, yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
I think his first feature film that was distributed. Yeah.
And then there was Memento, right? You guys watch Memento?
I love Memento.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. I can't think of anything else about Catch Me If You Can. But yeah, it's streaming on Max right now, or you can catch it on VOD. And that is my recommendation this week. And I want to go out and watch it again because it's been a long time, and I just first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, fun movie, nice, great scenes. Martin Sheen, I remember being in it.
I was just going to mention Martin Sheen. Yeah,
remember he had some great moments with him and Leonardo. There's, I think, a great dinner scene where he visits his house and.
Call me Frank. Frank, would you like to say grace? Unless you're not comfortable.
Absolutely.
Two little mice fell into a bucket of cream. The first mouse quickly gave up and drowned, but the second mouse, he struggled so hard that he eventually churned that cream into butter. And he walked out. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Oh, that was beautiful. The mousey churned that cream into butter.
That's right. Thank you.
Frank, have you decided which hospital you want to work at here in New Orleans?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm thinking about getting back into law.
Oh, my. Are you a doctor or a lawyer?
Well, before I went to medical school, I passed the bar in California. I practiced law for 1 year. Then I decided, why not try my hand at pediatrics?
You're just full of surprises.
Yeah.
Oh, my. A doctor and a lawyer. Well, I'd say that Brenda hit the jackpot.
Where did you go to law school?
Berkeley.
Berkeley. Oh, my gosh. Isn't that where you went, Daddy?
I want to go. I want to watch it tonight. It's getting late, but I kind of want to watch it tonight.
Martin Sheen's great, and he was right in the middle of like doing West Wing at that time. So I always loved the thought of him like going to a Spielberg set, being like, "Hey, this is great. Now back to the West Wing. I'm the president."
So, all right, those are our recommendations this week, and that is it. So we're just going to wrap things up. Next week, I think Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1
I'm so excited for that. Oh, I can't wait for that. Yeah.
That is coming out. It's only part. So is part 2 supposed to be next year? Is that the plan?
Part 2 is next year, I think, because I think it was originally supposed to be 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for the pandemic, this would have been the summer of part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I have my tickets already. I'm ready to go.
I'm so excited. I think I just have a feeling, and who knows, I haven't seen the movie, but in terms of my like action quotient needing to be filled this summer, I think Dead Reckoning is going to just like take it to the moon. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah. Yes.
And then after that, it's Barbieheimer.
Barbieheimer.
That's true, yeah.
It's
a good summer.
We're gonna go see both movies in the same day.
Oh my God!
You're gonna see Oppenheimer and
Barbie.
On the same day. That is like the polar opposite cinematic experience.
Which one first? Are you gonna watch Oppenheimer, then Barbie to bring you up, or the other way to bring you down?
We're doing Oppenheimer
if
first.
If I had to do it sound effects, is it gonna be
wait,
or
very, very important, Ellie. Are you gonna see Oppenheimer in IMAX?
IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean with the glasses on?
No, not 3D.
No, not 3D glasses, but Providence Place Mall actually.
The sound, you mean?
No, it has we'll have a 70 millimeter. Is it 65 or 70 millimeter?
70 is where you should see it. I guess
it's going to have Providence Place Mall IMAX is one of 30 cinemas in the country to have the 70 millimeter print. So definitely going to see it on IMAX there because this is going to be amazing.
I don't like those fancy things. Like my movies.
Well, no, it's not fancy. It's just IMAX. It's not the 3D that you think of. It's just the larger screen. It's a larger cinematic format where it's an incredible picture, but it's film. It's not digital. And
listen, I'm going to go see Oppenheimer with the dining thing where it's got the big seats on and everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you do you, Ellie.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan would be disappointed in you, but that's
that you're
okay.
eating during his movies.
Actually, I don't eat in the movies because of I'm germophobic, so I don't eat at all. I just drink water. But I buy my food, the popcorn. I take it after the movie and I take it home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't ever eat at the movies. Ever.
Okay.
It's disgusting. And then you hear other people like, I wish they didn't serve you food because all you hear is like.
Is that what it sounds like?
That's what it sounds exactly. So be careful, you guys. If you have not heard yourself, that's exactly what it sounds like when you eat and drink. Just saying. I remember.
Okay.
That's the girl from Ipanema.
I was widening my eyes because you were taking an iPhone screenshot. So
did you just take a picture of us?
You did. That's why I went like this. Yeah.
I wasn't even ready there.
That's the point. All right. All right. Let's wrap this up. That is the show. We thank you for tuning in. Back to the Frame Rate is part of the Western Media Podcast.
Time out. How would you say wrap up as a director? Can you say it now?
Wrap up?
No, but like if you're in directing on the set, say it.
Wrap up.
Wrap. That's a wrap? That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Oh, that's what you're saying. I didn't know what you meant. Yeah, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right. So that's a wrap, everyone. We thank you for tuning in. Back to the Frame Rate is part of the Western Media Podcast Network. You can email us directly at backtotheframerate@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at Back to the Frame Rate or on Twitter at Back Frame Rate. You can find past episodes of this show and other podcasts from the Western Media Podcast Network on our website, and I'll drop a link to that in the show notes. There we go. That is the show.
You forgot the TikTok.
Goodbye. Some year.
2026.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
want you to know it's over.
Well, bye.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.